Good morning. These are your Tribune highlights for Tuesday, January 13th, 2026, brought to you by Your Daily Bahamas headlines, especially for people on the go and those who are visually impaired. Please don't forget to like, share, and follow our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp channels. We begin this morning with the main story dominating today's Tribune. More than 7,000 Bahamian families are now receiving food assistance, according to feeding organizations, which warn that while the government's announcement to remove VAT from unprepared food is welcome, it is not enough to meet the scale of need. Groups such as Hands for Hunger say demand has surged sharply over the past year, driven by high food prices, stagnant wages, and rising living costs. They acknowledge that cutting VAT on grocery items will provide some relief, but stress that families facing food insecurity need broader, long-term support, including income growth, stronger social programs, and measures to address the root causes of poverty. Closely tied to this, feeding organizations say they continue to see people who are employed but still struggling to feed their families, highlighting concerns that economic growth is not being felt evenly across society. In another major national story, former PLP chairman Robert Dupuche-Caron has withdrawn his bid for the party's Michael nomination, citing a conflict of interest. He said his business dealings made it impossible to continue without raising questions, adding that public service must be free from even the appearance of impropriety. The move has sparked discussion within political circles as parties prepare for the next general election. On the crime and justice front, the Supreme Court recorded a marked increase in case disposals in 2025, with officials saying hundreds of matters were resolved, including long-standing cases. The Attorney General's office says plans are now underway to tackle more than 300 so-called cold cases during 2026, as part of a broader push to reduce backlogs and strengthen confidence in the justice system. In international and environmental news, 2 American nationals were arrested for illegal sports fishing in Bahamian waters after authorities seized weapons, fishing gear, and a large catch aboard their vessel. Officials say investigations are ongoing, and the arrests send a strong signal about protecting Bahamian marine resources. Turning to business and investment, debate continues over large-scale developments in Grand Bahama, including proposals tied to the acquisition of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. While some investors argue the projects could unlock growth and modernize infrastructure, environmental advocates warn that poorly planned development could cause long-term damage to fragile ecosystems. Tourism news was mixed. Resorts reported solid bookings despite construction delays, while officials acknowledged concerns about how recent U.S. visa policy changes could affect regional travel. At the same time, the Ministry of Tourism is stepping up marketing efforts in key markets such as New York, promoting the Bahamas as an accessible and attractive destination. In cultural news, families across the country continue to mourn the third death of 3 cousins, all officers, within a 3-month period, a tragedy that has deeply affected communities in Eleuthera and beyond. From the editorial page, the Tribune reflects on majority rule, describing it as an unfulfilled deed that requires more than celebration. The editorial urges Bahamians to confront persistent inequality, economic exclusion, and unfinished business tied to national empowerment, calling for leadership that delivers meaningful change rather than symbolism. In letters to the editor, writers raise concerns about transparency in governance, the social impact of development decisions, and whether economic policies are truly improving everyday life for ordinary Bahamians. Others reflect on the meaning of majority rule and question how progress should be measured more than 50 years later. That brings us to the end of today's Tribune highlights. As the saying goes, an informed people are better equipped to shape their future. For the full stories and additional coverage, please purchase a copy of the Tribune or visit tribune242.com to read today's edition. From all of us at Your Daily Bahamas Headlines, thank you for listening. Enjoy your day, be blessed, and be a blessing.